Right, okay, Craig, that's us live. Listen, Craig, I've been so looking forward to being able to bring you onto one of our lives that we do for the team. So for those people who don't know, my name's Dale. I run the Sacktheboss Team. Sacktheboss is just the name of a group of people who work with Utility Warehouse, helping people save money on their boring household bills, but more importantly, helping them make money in this kind of cost of living crisis.
Brilliant.
So if you're the kind of person that would like to know more about making money, please stay tuned, because I promise you, Craig's got some gold dust for all of us with regards how you can make some significant cash helping folks save money. So Craig, first of all, just for folk who don't know, would you mind just kind of introducing yourself, where you're from, whereabouts in the UK are you?
What's your name? Where'd you come from?
That's it.
So behind me is a set of drums that aren't mine. These are my nieces. I'm currently living in a place called Woodford Holt near Banbury, Daventry, in the middle of the country-ish. I sold my house, so we're going to stay here for a while. Hence the drum kit. I keep doing that. It's not mine, and neither is this room, neither is anything here. It's all my sister's. Thank you, my sister. So I lived in Droitwich, and we're now moving towards the Cotswolds area. So that's my background, is the Cotswolds, farmer's boy, and never really had a real job from my memory. Let me think. I'm 35 now and dyslexic, so it's catching up on me. No, so
we'll get lots of comments saying, "Oh, he's 35. That's amazing."
Yeah, they missed out the dyslexic bit.
Yeah.
KO.
So you're down in England, and when did you get involved in this kind of style of being able to make money in your own time rather than always beholden to an employer?
Do you know what? I actually replied to an advert 23 years ago, and I found out, obviously, very quickly who it was. It was a guy called Steve Critchley, and there were these smoke signs like boop, 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 coming out the back of the plane, and they got pound signs in the smoke signals. And I was like, what the heck is this? And it was a company called Telecom Plus, branded now Utility Warehouse. And I joined then, and we got very quickly promoted. We did very good, but I only did it for about 7 months. And I was interested in trying to make the big money. I was like, this is not good enough for me. This is rubbish. And the company were 2 or 3 years old then. So I was like, yeah, you go off and get yourself noticed, and I might come back another time in the future. And I came back 10 years ago, and we've gone on to build a really nice business with great people inside it, leaders, customer gatherers, a mix of personalities, a mix of all kinds. And the vehicle we have is astonishing, Dale. So, yeah, 23 years ago, originally, I got the business, I had a bit of an income from it. I think it was about 300 quid a month. And I ended up actually gifting it to somebody. Long story.
Yeah.
Many people say you could be NNL by now, and I'm like, woo. But I'm not. And I don't lose a week's sleep over it, because it is just what it is. I always think about what's coming, not what could have been. So yeah, that's the brief introduction of where we were.
Right, okay. And so a lot of people who watch this content are probably just learning about the fact that there's a company called Utility Warehouse that helps them make money. Some folk who see this will be already in the team. Some folk who see this will be maybe having a nosy at us thinking about maybe getting involved. Now, I know you don't know this, but I've actually named this video behind the scenes as Royalty Income Sets You Free.
Ooh.
And the reason I named it that is I know that this business has been particularly kind to you from a financial standpoint because of the hard work you put in the early years.
Yeah. You know what? It's a great point, because you can put the effort I put in, 7.5, 8 years, non-stop, full-time. Dale's got a great brand called Sacktheboss with that lovely, what looks like a Bentley logo there. with an S inside it. I love that.
I made that myself.
Did you? STB, Sack the Boss. Because we're predominantly a part-time business and people tag it alongside. But you're the same as me, both. My attitude is if you can work out the maths, what you can do part-time, and then you can times that by X amount of hours, why would you ever work for somebody? I don't get it. And I've proven how incredible this is, and the company's proved their legitimacy to me, over and over again, due to the fact that for the last 2.5 years, I took a bit of a sabbatical. I won't go into the ins and outs of it, but I decided to take some time out. And during that time, my income rose by just over £2,200 a month. Rose.
Amazing.
And I hadn't done anything for 2.5 years.
See, to people listening to that, there will just be like, I just don't get that. How does that work?
So what really happened was this: we have two arms of the business. We gather customers, we show people how to save money, and we gather what's called partners, our team, to show people how to make money. And I always looked at the people at the top in anything I've ever done, and I wanted to see what they were doing, and ideally pinch the greatest tips of the lot of them and amalgamate it and become a hybrid of that myself. That was always my remit, and whether I've done that, time will always reveal. But what happened in this, Del, is that I wanted to help people do what I did, and that is, I never stopped gathering customers because it keeps you current. It helps you to overcome objections and understand things better. But my primary objective, and I was still gathering 2 to 5 customers a month on top of this, was to build not only a business or a team or the camaraderie and the culture, but to actually help people think for themselves and become leaders in their own right, so they can then go off and do the same thing. I mean, look, many people have different ways of doing it. My attitude is there's loads of ways of doing it, but there's only a few ways of doing it really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
And that is listen to the people that have trodden those footsteps and copy them instead of reinventing the beautifully spinning wheel that we have. You know, so to find an opportunity, let's be straight down the line, right?
Yeah.
What we offer is so boring for me personally. I'm like, oh my God, gas, electricity, phone, broadband, mobile, insurance, which millions of people are involved in those subjects somewhere in the world. It's somewhere in the UK. So, you know, they're doing it as well. But here's the point. I've searched and I've wondered and I've investigated for years. Who is going to pay you unless you're a CEO of a business, unless you invest a lot of money at the risk of losing? Who is going to pay you thousands of pounds a month before you get out of bed each day? And with the respect, can I swear or not?
You can do whatever you want, Craig. You're over 18.
Okay. Then I would say, fuck whether you get excited about the products or the services. How about we have a FTSE 250 company that will be a FTSE 100 in the next 2, 3, 4 years, that's going to pay you whilst you sleep for work you did once and encouraged, developed, nurtured, and empowered others to do the same. That's all we do, right? Now, the challenge is that everyone thinks it's not real. They can't believe this is possible. They believe you may have had some backhanders. Everything you can think of to just step away from the perception of it's a scam, it's a pyramid, it's this. It's insane what people think.
Yeah.
Now, I've never been a PAYE person. I've never believed in the pension. I think it's the biggest legal pyramid on planet Earth, devised by all the governments in the world. And it's just nonsense. I did the maths. I was 18 then, just 3 or 4 years ago. And, excuse me. and I just couldn't work out why people would actually not get the amount they put in, depending on the classic old thing with the pension when you pass away. So to find something like this was almost, is this real?
Yeah.
And then you go on a journey, and the journey is you're working it like a job, or better still, your own business, which is basically your own business means you own a job. The difference between a job and your own company is that you necessarily won't give that job more than you have to. Some go over and above, most don't. But your business, you do anything to make it a success. So I treated this like it was my own company because, to all intents and purposes, it is. I've got a limited company within the. It's like having a franchise without the franchise fees.
Yeah. Definitely.
Phenomenal, right? And then, because of getting a bit knackered, getting a bit bored, you can argue whatever you want, but I needed to take some time out because I put a lot of effort into this. And for 2.5 years, not only do they keep paying me, it keeps going up every month, and I'm like, wow. So,
And for the people that are tuning in, why is it growing? What's happening in your business that you were able to basically step back for, however many months it was, and then when you go back to it, you had essentially got a $2,000 pay rise? What caused that to happen?
So what caused that was during the time of me not being here, people still went to work. People still went to grow their business.
Your
And people
team,
kept
the
joining.
people you had introduced.
Yeah. So the team was building the teams, and the teams were building teams, and it just kept growing. And I mean, the mind boggles. The mind boggles. We're on nearly coming up to 20,000 customers.
20,000 customers. My goodness, that is a big business, isn't it?
It's all right, isn't it?
It's not bad. And the company average per customer is around 30 pence.
Yeah.
That's what the average UW partner is getting, about 30 pence every single month from every single customer in their entire network that's been introduced by their other team members. And that's what's driving that royalty income for you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, I joined this business. When did you join, Dan?
09. Well, that's when I paid my money. But I think there's a mental difference between paying your money and getting to work. So I never got to work till about 2018. After you'd kicked me and kicked me and kicked me.
So that's why I asked the question, because you came in before me, but I then brought you back, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Despite the fact, and people should understand this, that we have nothing to do with each other's team or each other's income.
No.
We have no bearing on each other's incomes whatsoever, other than the fact that the company wins, we all win, I guess. That's a generic statement. But because I was a friend of yours and we went on holidays together through the company, and I knew what you were capable of, I thought it was a shame for the company not to have you in their midst, banging the drum in Scotland or anywhere, for the matter of the UK. And more than anything, I wanted your family to feel what I'd started to feel, which is freedom.
Yeah.
Which is great when you think of the Scottish Braveheart.
Freedom!
Freedom!
Where's my See You Jimmy hat? Oh, hold on.
I'll see you, Jimmy. So, yeah, that's rapsy in this, but
Aye.
aye.
I've got about 3 of these.
Brilliant. I'll have it on the next one when I get up there. We kept in touch. We kept in touch, and when you see somebody that's always working weekends, because that's what the car trade was.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine who's gone really well in the business, John
Yeah, amazing.
also was in the car trade. I had to say to you, what are you doing, bud? Because it doesn't matter how much money you earn. And I've been in positions in direct sales where I've earned 15, 20 grand in a month before. I have done it and made 180 grand a year. 150 was normal. It's great, but I was never at home. Never. And I never, ever got paid a penny if I didn't travel the miles and get the successes. Now, if I do 0 miles and 0 appointments, they keep paying me not far off 6 figures a year royalties. And the reason why I love it is because it's not creams, it's not products that crack and break. I'm not saying that about any company. I'm saying that about all companies because everything's built in obsolescence. It's not a company where your products, you have good quarters and bad quarters, seasons and off seasons. So your money keeps doing this up and down. It's not consistent with running a household. What my income does is it. Can I do that there? There you go. So it's going up very slowly, but it's going up. It never did any dipping.
All the time.
Yeah, each month I get a pay rise. It's like, you can imagine that in a PAYE position. No, each month you're getting a pay rise. People struggle to get the nurses, the top 3 professions in our business. Let's go to the top 4: police officer, nurse, teacher, and I would say probably hairdresser. I was having my haircut earlier on today, and I gave him my card. He said, "What do you do?" I said, "Well, I do all kinds of things, really. I did some investing, but mostly what I do is I run a networking business." What's that mean? Well, it's really boring, really boring. But I get paid nearly 6 figures every month before I get out of bed. If you don't turn up and cut someone's hair, how much do you get paid? And so the conversation went like that. I said, "We've got a lot of hairdressers in our business." And I just said, just imagine all the people's, or forget imagine the times you've snipped those scissors. Let's say you got 2 pence for each one of them that you've done over your life, and you got that money coming in every month. What would that amount to? A few quid, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
That's like,
that's
like how we get paid. And he went, but how can they pay you without doing anything? Can I be direct with you? Yeah. If you compare what I've got to what you've ever seen, you're never going to understand this. Okay, well, what do you mean then? Which is my way of saying, you're just not thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
What we've got borders on too good to be true, but there is a catch, there is a caveat, and the caveat is you have to go to work. Let me just think. Tell me any business job that's any different, and how many of those buggers will pay you whilst you sleep? I love that phrase. Pays you as you sleep. You know.
So what I'm going to do for the first of all, if you're watching and you are intrigued at the sound of how you can build this repeat royalty style income, and you know Craig, please get in touch with him directly. He's got information that he can put in front of you that will explain it all to you. If you don't know Craig, feel free to contact us through the website. It's along the bottom of the screen. And what I'm going to very quickly do, Craig, I've got a short, it's about a 90-second video that I'm just going to quickly play to folk so they can see a bit more about the actual company itself. And then we'll be straight.
Okay.
I'm on a journey to find out what makes UW different. UW is a home services provider that helps people save time and money. But what you might not know is that people actually earn with them by simply introducing others to UW. They're called partners. But who are they and what do they do? I'm going to meet a few to find out. Why did you become a UW partner?
I heard about Utility Warehouse and about the opportunity to become a partner, and it matched the exact earnings that I was losing, which was £1,400 a month. With just 4 customers a month, I would earn the same.
So you can choose your own hours?
Oh, completely. Yeah, there's no set hours, there's no expectations. That's the best thing about it. It's totally my business, and particularly for my family, my son Joshua is autistic, so after school's a really key time, and Utility Warehouse enables me to do that.
So, Jogger, I'm meeting various UW partners to understand how it has impacted positively on family life. Tell me a bit about yourself.
Actually, UW's changed our life massively. 6 years ago, we had our first child through IVF. and that was funded through the hours I worked with UW.
How does this work lifestyle compare to your previous work lifestyle?
Obviously, thoroughly enjoyed my time in the police. A lot of commitment, a lot of hours, but not necessarily the work-life balance. And what being a partner with the UW has allowed us to do is to enjoy the other side of working hard, but also enjoying the benefit of time.
See that last sentence, the benefits of time.
Well, you know what?
That's exactly what royalty income gives us all. I'm actually just now you're successful in your own right as well. I mean, you've got your utility warehouse business, but you've also got other businesses. So what are you driving at the minute?
A Lamborghini Urus. I got it back today because it had been, somebody went to the back of it while it was parked 2 months ago, just a little dent in the bump, and it's just come back today. But my
So
goodness.
is that the 4x4 Lamborghini? The
Yeah,
kind of
they call it an SUV, don't they?
Yeah. What
Yeah.
a car.
I went in it today, and you can see me smiling. This is what I was like behind the wheel. I went, I miss this. I miss this little baby. And it's like sitting next to Lewis Hamilton like this, and you're on the Silverstone, and you can see him there, and he just starts pulling away a little bit because he's got just a little bit more power in his F1 car to this V8 beast. But
a few quid tied up in that, eh?
Pardon?
A few quid tied up in one of those Urus.
Yeah, but there's ways around that. But anyway, the difference between me and him, apart from he's got a lot more money than I have, I think his passive is a bit bigger, is that I've got the kids, the golf clubs, and the good lady sat in the front in the car, and he's just got nobody. So yeah, Lewis, have that.
So Craig, look, for partners that are in UW and they've maybe just joined, because obviously we're having our fastest growth as a company that we have ever had. We just won FTSE PLC Growth Company of the Year. So that means we are officially the fastest growing company in the London Stock Exchange, including the FTSE 100 and the FTSE 250. So it's an exciting time for us, but I think sometimes we have got partners on board who maybe don't realise what they've got sitting in front of them. And I'd love what would you say to a team member who's sitting there, kind of wants to change their lifestyle, frustrated or fed up of being fed up, and they're stuck?
Well, I'm pretty direct, mate. You know that. I would say get over yourself. But I'd also say for the ones that need encouragement and love and cuddles, you mustn't look this gift horse in the mouth. You don't know what you've stumbled across. You don't know what you've had the good fortune to actually trip over. So come back and have a look at this. Now, I don't know how many people get brought into the opportunity and then just get left to their own devices. It doesn't happen in my business. If I'm involved, I can't stop what other people do. I can't control everything because I've got the same amount of hours in a day as anyone else. I would just say to people, what's going on in this company now, and I've been around it for over 2 decades, but certainly this time, second time around, for 10 years. We had a call with the financial officer, the CFO, the chief financial officer, and what he was saying, his passion and excitement, blew my mind. And I'll tell you why. Because all of the little companies that were around giving deals on energy, just one aspect of what we do. The little fly-by-nights, the here today, gone tomorrow, well, they actually have all gone. Excuse me. Just getting over that oral coffee coldy thing. Gone. They've all gone. And his prediction was the next 3 to 5 years, 3, 4, 5 years, but he said 5. I'm going to say 3, 4, 5 years. We're going to have a ball, Del. We're going to clean up. We're possibly going to get to a FTSE 100 within that time frame. What we're possibly going to gather 1 million new customers. How many of those would you like at 30p a time on average paying into your bank every single month? I mean, it's astonishing. And if you're just a bit disengaged, look at this. Come here. Look at the Munchkin pie. Isn't that beautiful? If you're a little bit disillusioned or a little bit disheartened or a little bit unsure, then all I will say to you is find the person that introduced you or go somewhere else to show somebody, attach yourself to somebody that can help your path. There's nothing special about me. There's this great phrase I remember hearing. There's so many big shots in this life, big shots this and big shots that. Well, I'd rather be a little shot that just keeps on shooting, right? Because that way you're consistent. And to even find something that pays you like this, it's so hard to believe that people just go, well, yeah, I know what you're saying. But anyway, mate, I'm watching some on Netflix at the moment. And if you want to take that attitude, you just have to say good luck because you're going to bloody need it. If you want to go, right, I'm going to attach this to what I already do and go for it. Or I'm going to attach it for a period of time and then I'm going to sack the boss, like my good friend Dale says here. Go for it. Or, there's permutations of what you could do. But invariably, you've got to be in it to win it. You've got to get on the treadmill. You've got to get on the back of the horse to understand what this is. And when you do, if you've got anything in your head going, how do I set myself free? This is it. This is it. Because if you can find something else like this, I think we all would have found it by now. We all would have found it. And it doesn't exist. You can always make money in many things out there, but do they pay you whilst you sleep? And does it keep growing? And the only caveat in that is you've got to learn your craft of leadership and learn to understand how to help others get what they want. Because if they do, your reward is inevitable. And that's my advice to anyone.
But brilliant advice, Craig. Brilliant. And coming from somebody that's, you've seen it all. You've had your good days, you've had your bad days. Like everything in life, it's about developing. It's about learning from the errors we make and pushing on to become stronger. So, I really hope everyone that sees this content really grasps those words and does something.
Let me just say in closing, I know somebody that was in their early 60s that joined this, and they're in their 80s now, getting 10 grand a month. So never think you're too old, too young. Don't look at people like me and Del because we've got grey hair and go, oh, I'll do that one day. One day never comes, right? Don't get the disease of getting ready to get ready. It's pathetic. Get on with it. Get on with it now. And don't have the disease also of paralysis by analysis, where you analyze everything, that you paralyze your brain. This is so simple. We help people save money. We help people make money. And along those paths, you'll find leadership and you'll actually feel good about your own path of life, just as a byproduct of learning personal development. So, yeah.
And I'm going off on a tangent, but I feel it's certainly worth a mention. So you've got a chap in your team who recently set some records in our business.
We've got a few doing that, but one in particular I think you're talking about is Chandler.
Yeah, I met him recently. Very inspiring young lad.
Yeah, it's funny. He's got to now 1,000 customers. So what he gets every year is a weekend away in Europe every year for the rest of his life. And he gets another one, which is now he's at 1,000 because no one's ever done it before. So they've had to make this one up. Beautiful problem.
Yeah.
He now gets a week anywhere in the world every year for the rest of his life.
Just for doing
what he came in to do anyway, which is build an income by helping people save money. He's now changing his tact and he wants to help people make money and start building a business like I've done. Because you see, the thing is with customers is, please take this the right way, but people die. customers die, people die. And with a team, when you've got hundreds of different people contributing a little bit somewhere along the line, wow, it gives you a tiny bit of more of the pie.
Yeah.
And that's what gives you financial peace.
Craig, listen, that's us just hit the half-hour mark, which is fantastic. Great to hear your take on things. And if you don't mind me saying, it's fantastic to have you back.
Oh, mate, it's a pleasure. And it's a great thing to be around like-minded. Looking at all the people I'm going to help in the next few years, it actually sends a shiver down my spine because I know what's in our hands. And it's never been a better time. And people say this all the time, but it's true right now. It's never been a better time.
Brilliant. So listen, if you have been watching, thank you so much. If you're not part of the business, Craig, you're on Facebook, aren't you?
Yes, Craig
So
Casey.
find Craig, or just find him on Facebook. Are you on Instagram? Are you on all the different platforms?
I really use that one, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you want to speak to Craig, you can also, if you can't connect him, you can message through the Sacktheboss website and I'll connect you directly with Craig. And as I say, if you don't know Craig, the Sacktheboss team is always happy to help anyway. And if you are already in the business and you're just feeling stuck, take that advice. Find somebody you can work with that will motivate and inspire you. Because it's a lot easier doing this business when you work with the kind of team ethos. That's what I've certainly found.
Big time, big time. We're all in it together.
That's it. Okay, listen, Craig, thank you so much. And what's the plans for this evening? Playing that drum kit?
Ooh, yeah. No, I've got a new guitar that I went into a raffle just before Christmas over the pub there. I'm at my sister's, as I said, and I bought a few raffle tickets and I won this guitar. So I'm now going to learn how to play the guitar.
Good on you.
Yeah.
Right, okay, listen, thanks a lot, Craig, and I'll speak to you at the next face-to-face event.
Look forward to that, buddy.